This sinkhole further underscores a major issue that our region is facing. Water infrastructure is failing, and like a dripping faucet, it's creating a bigger pool of problems. Forward's John Kipper has the broader impact and challenge another town is facing with its old water system.
The sinkhole in downtown St. Louis under the highway is a visual depiction of disinvestment in the city's water infrastructure. There are other examples. This past winter, residents in neighborhoods around Tower Grove Park had water gushing in their streets, but no water coming out of their sinks. 3 years ago, Interstate 64 was briefly shut down because of a water main break, washing the highway. With countless examples in between, all these situations making it harder to live, work, and visit the city.
There's no concern that it's going to hurt tourism specifically. I mean, obviously, anytime there is difficulty in getting from point A to point B, it can be frustrating. That's why making sure that people are informed and that they're aware, and that also they know that they need to plan extra time for any traffic issues that might arise.
But the interstate's expected to be closed for over a week. Kat Neville with Explore St. Louis says luckily, no major events are planned at the Dome or Convention Center. And while MoDOT, the city, and MSD work to repair infrastructure and open downtown back up, the city of Kirkwood has also been dealing with the same problem.
And I think it's one of the biggest issues facing the city.
Kirkwood had its share of water main breaks as well, including May of 2025 when it was so bad Kirkwood announced a boil order and many businesses temporarily closed. They also have an aging system and have recently raised rates.
It has become a substantial part of my utility bill, which does change your decision making when you're going out to eat, buying groceries, paying other bills.
Ann Backer says her water bill has shot up as Kirkwood has raised rates by 50% just over the last few years. And even with those hikes, they still may not be able to catch up. Kirkwood gets its water from Missouri American Water, but it's the only municipality in St. Louis County to distribute their water themselves. And while they're investing over $2 million a year to replace their water mains, a consultant recently said they have $90 million of needs to maintain their system.
I don't think right now we have the funding to be able to keep up with it. We can either raise rates more, take on debt, or look at a potential sale. And so those are really our three options at this point.
First Alert 4 obtained closed session minutes from last spring referencing a purchase offer of about $27.5 million from Missouri American Water. Councilman Paul Schaefer knew about the offer and was on multiple committees to explore options for their water system. But he says one committee was dissolved and the most recent committee scope changed from what's the best option to how do we keep our water system. Councilman Arnold says the public nor other committee members knew about that offer.
The water subcommittee should have been given this information. They should have been able to study it. You know, I don't know where the logjam is, the bottleneck, but ultimately both council and the water subcommittee should know about the offer, study the pros and cons, and then lay it out for the residents.
So as the city of St. Louis ponders how to solve a problem that could cost $1 billion over 20 years, Kirkwood has tens of millions of dollars of decisions to make.
I don't think we can continue down the path of kicking the can down the road. I think we have to address this problem head on right now.
And John is joining me live here from the St. Louis sinkhole. And John, as we take a look at this problem here, how did Kirkwood end up in such a bad spot?
Well, I talked to Councilman Paul Schaefer. This is a guy that's been on 3 different water subcommittees as Kirkwood has tried to figure this problem out. And essentially, Kirkwood used to make money from their water infrastructure. They would have more revenue than expenditure. So then they would then take that money and they'd put it in their general fund. They'd use it for things like streets, which is great until you get into a situation like this where now all of a sudden you have to catch up. And Morgan, that's the situation they're in right now.
Yeah. And so, John, when it comes to St. Louis County with Missouri American Water, why don't we hear about these same issues?
Well, I did ask a spokesperson for Missouri American Water, and their answer is pretty simple, that they just heavily invest into their water infrastructure. I have a few key facts about that. First of all, from 2023 to 2025, they put in $1 billion alone in system improvements. And then just in a 2-year span, they got 3% of their pipes completely replaced. And 3%, give you some context, Kirkwood gets less than 1% of their pipes replaced every year. So essentially, they're just going in every year and pouring money into the problem, They have old pipes just like Kirkwood in the city of St. Louis, but they've invested in it. And while we just still see some water breaks here and there, a lot less than what we see in the city of St. Louis and Kirkwood.
All right, John, interesting facts there. Thank you.